Okay, so I'm not really going to talk about like any of the policies that RFK Jr. is pushing in Congress or what he's doing like politically. I'm not really the person to ask about that. But I was just reading his Wikipedia article today, and I've noticed some things about him that are just like, he's insane. He's actually insane. And I don't even know if I say that like negatively, but the guy is just crazy. Just based off of like what we know and the stuff that he has admitted. Like, first of all, his second wife found a book that he had. He made this book where he wrote down every single sexual encounter that he had in the year 2001 that wasn't with his wife. And there was like 37 women in this book. That's insane. Like, he has to have the testosterone levels of a gorilla. That is an insane number. I mean, there are people that don't have 37 bodies in their entire life, in their entire 80 years on the planet. And this dude was having sex 37 times in 1 year. Like, he is the Wilt Chamberlain of cheating on his wife. And that's just like what he recorded. He just had that in his journal and she found it. There's probably a ton of other instances over the years of him doing this. So he's a sex addict. Like, he is. I don't think you do that without being a sex addict. He talked about how he has struggled with drug addiction before, which, hey, if you struggle with that, it's like, salute to you, you know, we respect that. But he would talk about, he said in an interview that heroin actually helped him study, because he said this in an interview, he was like kind of endorsing heroin and saying that like, oh, I could sit down and study, I could relax, I went to the top of my class because I was taking heroin. I don't know if that's really the responsible thing to do, but the thing with Bobby Kennedy Jr. is that he literally just says everything. Like, he is, I don't know if he's completely honest. I'm sure there's some things that he doesn't say, but there's so many things that he has admitted to over the years that it actually makes him seem more trustworthy and honest, in my opinion, because there's so many politicians that, most people think that politicians are kind of shitty. Like, if you find out that a politician's like cheating on his wife or is like kind of a scumbag, it's like, oh, well, of course, you know, they all are. The fact that he admits to things actually kind of makes him more trustworthy in a way than somebody who has a clean record and doesn't admit it, because he has nothing to gain by admitting it. It can only hurt him. Like, he even basically said that he was like on the Epstein list. Like, he was flying with Jeffrey Epstein. He was on those planes, and he admitted it in 2023. Ghislaine Maxwell said that he was there, but she said that, oh, I never saw him do anything like weird or inappropriate, which, it's like, I don't know, man. Why the fuck would you go there if you're not gonna like have sex with a kid? Like, you can go to any island, you know, you can. I don't think you would go to the kid touching island just to hang out. But who knows? Maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't do anything. What the fuck was I gonna say? Oh yeah, he likes to like dissect animals and look at their like skeletons. This is one of his other hobbies. He likes falconry, which is, he trains falcons to fly around, and he talks about how he likes to skin animals and like look at their skeletons, look at their pelts and stuff. Like, his daughter told this story about how they found a beached whale in Port Hyannis, like near their house. And most people, when they see a beached whale, they go, oh, that's really sad, you know, that's a damn shame. But Bobby Kennedy Jr. apparently, like, because he has this passion for collecting skeletons. She said that he just casually cut the thing's head off with a chainsaw on the beach and like put it on top of his car, and they just drove around with like a whale's head on top of their car, and people were like honking at them like in their car and like flicking them off, because it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And she said that they had to wear like plastic bags over their heads with like holes to for like the eye sockets, like, so they were basically like masked up with this whale's head on top of their car because he wanted to look at the skeleton of this dead animal. And he's done this before, like with the bear incident in Central Park, where somebody found like a dead bear cub, and it was this big like scene there. It was this whole like debacle about where this bear cub could have came from. And it was because Bobby Kennedy found a dead bear cub on the side of the road and was like, oh, let me skin this. Let me just get this thing's pelt. And he had it in the back of his car. And, which is like, yeah, perfectly reasonable thing to do when you find a dead animal. It's like, oh, let me take this back to my house so I can skin it and dissect it. And I guess his friends like found it in the back of his car and were like, what are you doing? And he had this idea of, oh, you know what we should do? We should like put this in Central Park somewhere, because that'd be funny if people like found this and it was a big story. Like, the dude is just nuts. He's completely whacked out of his mind. I'm sure you all know that he has a brain worm that has eaten part of his brain, which I'm sure that hasn't happened to everyone. You know, that's kind of tragic, but it does happen to people. People have gotten brain worms, and I don't know, man, that's crazy. But obviously this guy is very weird. I actually like Bobby Kennedy. I think he's funny. But I don't, like I said, I don't know his policies. Don't fucking attack me. I don't care. I've seen him in interviews. The guy seems decently relatable. I don't know if he's a good person or not. Who are we to really judge? But obviously the guy's parents, or his father, died when he was very young, so he probably has a lot of trauma regarding that. Like, it was a very public assassination. It had to have affected him. But I just wanted to make a video about that, because it's like, this guy is actually, his life is crazy, all the things that he's done. But yeah, that's all I got. So like and leave a comment.